Dance party! Here at Rockstar Diaries home studio. Dance party. When life gives you lemons, you dance! Woo! Yeah! And should we tell them why we're so hot and sweaty?
Oh, sweating like crazy right now. Woo! We got these lights on us, camera action, and the AC goes out. Oh!
Yes, we just got back from vacation. An amazing Music is Healing festival, and Music is Healing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's broken, and the ETA for a fix is for like 4 more days. But we decided to just go for it and dance and bring you tonight the amazing story of Jeff Pearson. You don't want to miss a second of it. Woo! It might even save your life. The warning signs of a certain invisible condition. Yeah, because every day is a new day. When you wake up with joy, gratitude, and music. Woo! Yeah.
There it is!
Is that me?
Press that TV knob.
You're watching the Rockstar Diaries TV show.
Forgiven, no more chains on me. I'm a child of God, that's who I am. I am free, I am beloved. I know I'm not condemned. You build me up, you give me strength. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I believe I am yours, Lord. I am yours, Lord. I am yours. I am a witness
Hey everybody, welcome to Rockstar Diaries, Healing Out Loud. Today we have a special guest, some guy we met down there in Hystopia. You know, the other 1,000 hosts for the TV network of E360. Now it wasn't 1,000, but
Orlando.
We met this guy, and he's just an amazing personality. He's so funny.
He is. He cracks me up.
Let's just tell you a little bit about him. His name is Jeff Pearson. He's a speaker, an author, a business owner, and TV host. When Jeff was 2 weeks old, it was confirmed that he had hydrocephalus and underwent his first brain and abdominal surgery. Over the years, he has had many similar surgeries, including 7 brain surgeries, each with its own set of challenges and victories.
But despite these challenges, Jeff traveled the world with people, got married, raised 3 kids, worked as a private investigator. That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
And now is the executive director of Hydro with Hope. I can't wait to hear about that. A nonprofit designed to provide tangible resources for families affected by hydrocephalus and the host. He is the host of 2 other shows.
The first one he launched is called Invisible Condition, and it airs twice per week on E360 TV. Invisible Condition is a show that features amazing individuals who are living and thriving despite living with a mental condition you can't see from the outside. The second show, launching in January 2026, is called 6 Degrees of Impact, and is about the impact of people behind the story. We're showing that no one is as far from purpose, progress, or possibility as they think.
Through Hydro with Hope, speaking, and the TV shows, Jeff spreads the message that first, you are not alone. Second, there is always hope. And third, life does not have to be perfect to be amazing. Jeff and Catherine live in Colorado with their 3 almost grown children, Elizabeth, Nick, and Casey. I hope that I pronounced that right.
Yes.
We're going to ask him here. Welcome, Jeff! Welcome to Rockstar Diaries, Healing Out Loud.
Yeah.
So glad to have you.
Good to be here. I'm excited. This is good stuff, man. I'm excited to be on the show. It'll be fun.
Excellent. You know, I don't know if there's anything more you can add to that bio. I mean, it's a really great bio, but is there anything else you'd like to add starting off?
I mean, no, I'm pretty sure you summed it up pretty good there. Yeah, we started life a little exciting. You know, you don't meet anybody. You don't meet very many people that have their introduction to the world was emergency brain surgery. So,
Yeah.
Oh,
so yeah, good times.
you have such a shiny light about you that people gravitate towards you. I noticed that. You're a gentle giant, and you bring so much positivity and knowledge and golden nuggets
I
to
know.
anybody that you talk to.
Yes.
So thank you for being born. Thank thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God for that. I had no control over that part. But, you know, I'm pretty excited to be here too. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
We're hoping that you can educate our audience on hydrocephalus and from the beginning stages, what
Okay.
exactly happened. Yes.
Yeah, I can give you a little biology lesson here in a nutshell. So hydrocephalus occurs when let me back up. Your brain is always producing fluid. It's called cerebral spinal fluid, producing it all day, every day of your life. And it produces about a quart a day. And in case you're not aware, there's only so much room up here. It's got to go somewhere. And so normally there are ventricles built into your brain, kind of like little drain pipes, and the fluid drains down the ventricles, funnels down your spinal column, and then just kind of dissipates and reabsorbs into your system. That's the normal way of it's supposed to work that way. For many of us with hydrocephalus, one of my ventricles that was supposed to drain that fluid was blocked. And so at 2 weeks old, they did at birth, they do like how long is the baby, how much does the baby weigh? And then they do a head measurement around here. And then at 2 weeks old, they do the same thing, make sure you're tracking and growing properly. And they said, that head measurement is just a little bit bigger than it should be, Mom. Let's do a CAT scan and see what's going on. And that's when they found the blocked ventricle. And so that nurse was awesome. Whoever found that, nurse, doctor, PA, whoever it was, thank you. because that's what got me that first brain surgery at 2 weeks old. And so they typically will drill a hole in the skull back here to get a tube in there to access that fluid, and they attach a shunt to it, which is right here, and they attach a cord to that that's right here, and it kind of just reroutes that fluid somewhere else to the, in the body to reabsorb. So and so that's kind of the starting point for a lot of people with hydrocephalus. The trick is these shunts have like the highest failure rate in the history of medicine. I don't know, despite 60 years of research and development and creating new devices and all the things, people with this condition are on average having brain surgery every 2 to 3 years. And so I've escaped the averages. I'm 48 years old. I've only had 7. I probably should have had 2 or 3 times that many by now by the averages. So not to mention all the co-conditions that can come with it, like seizure disorders and different, things like that. So but by the grace of God, he set me aside from most of that. And so I said, well, we better do something cool with it. So here we are.
Oh, what a great. Thank you for educating us.
Sure.
Yeah, we actually have a friend of ours who's gone through this just recently in midlife. Mm-hmm. And he's an engineer, and he would go out of the office where his manager just told him to do this project, and 30 seconds later, he couldn't remember what he said to him. And he's like, I think I need to go to the doctor and find out what's going on with my memory. Yeah. And the doctor for months, could not figure out what it was. I mean, and he had to be an advocate for himself and say, no, I'm not going to just take a pill to try to get this to go away. Mm-hmm. And so what are the warning signs that people could look for this?
Good question.
Man, for me, I can't speak for anybody else, but for me, I mean, typically, if you look it up, if you look up hydrocephalus warning signs, it'll say things like, nausea and vomiting and headaches and body aches and all kinds of stuff. For me, really, it was just headaches. I mean, like monster headaches. I call, anybody that with hydrocephalus, anybody that's lived with it for any amount of time has become a headache connoisseur. We know when we get a headache, whether it's, I didn't drink enough water today. I didn't eat enough. I slept weird last night in a weird position and that's why my headache is here. Or you get one and you go, maybe we should go get this one checked out. So we get pretty familiar with our bodies and just kind of know what headaches mean what. And so that's kind of cool and kind of weird at the same time. but yeah, we just pay attention,
Pay attention.
So,
yes, pay attention to those whispers. That's what we call them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, we're going to stop to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to speak more with Jeff Pearson.
Yes.
You're watching the Rockstar Diaries TV show.
The first people I want to give credit to is my parents, because they could have gone about it really one of two ways. They could have said, "You're sick. Don't do that. Don't play that sport. Don't go outside. Don't, and kept me in a bubble, my whole life." Or they thank God they did what they did, and they said, "You know what, man? You're a normal kid. Go do your thing. And by the way, every once in a while you might have to have surgery. We'll let you know, kind of thing." And I'm sure they were terrified under the surface, but I had a very normal childhood thanks to their approach to all of this. And so, I mean, I was skateboarding and snowboarding and doing all this crazy stuff as a kid. I still do. I still love snowboarding. And I had a very normal thing. They'd say, "Don't play football. Don't do anything dumb. Don't do things where you intentionally bang your head against things." But yeah, it was very, very normal. So that's probably the first people that really influenced me in that way. And so I don't think I'd be doing this. I wouldn't have traveled with people. I probably wouldn't have. I don't know where I would be if they took the opposite approach. So yeah.
I love that. I love that you honored your parents. I don't know if we talked about this at Hostopia, but I had an invisible condition growing up. Now it's not so invisible, but I bruised real easy. I had very low energy even as a child. And when I was 19 years old, they told me that I had a month to live. They
Oh,
had misdiagnosed it as leukemia. It's called ITP, and at the time it was very rare. It was being studied at the University of Washington. I became one of their guinea pigs. But for that brief moment of time when they said, you have about a month to live, it's
Jeez.
looking pretty bad.
Yeah.
And it has to do with your platelet level. Your bone marrow produces an antibody that kills your platelets.
Yeah.
And I remember my mom sitting with me at the hospital, I won't name names, group health, and she said, we are getting a second diagnosis. We are not accepting that. Ginine, you are not dying in a month.
No.
It was powerful.
Nice.
So parents are like,
I think the crazy thing about the story that she told me was that they said, well, really didn't know what it really is, but we think removing your spleen would help.
That was after they, decided that it wasn't leukemia and it was ITP, which is very similar in some, all of that.
Come
And
on. Yeah. Those, after 15 surgeries and 7 brain surgeries, I can say one thing. They call it practicing medicine for a reason.
yes,
They do not know everything. They know a lot, and I am not trying to throw anybody. Don't send any hate mail to me, okay, guys? I'm not throwing anybody under the bus here.
no.
I wouldn't be here without skilled surgeons and medical professionals, and you can't cranial sacral your way out of brain surgery with hydrocephalus, But at the same time, once that surgery's done, if you start having side effects, if you start having misdiagnoses, sometimes they don't know what to do with it. And so you got to go outside the medical realm and find solutions there. And so I'm a perfect example of that combination. 48 years of getting MRIs, I've only had one where they handed me a set of, earphones and played music for me and gave me the choice of music and stuff. And it was really loud though. I kind of wish they would have turned it down a little, but they, other than that, they just say, here, stick these earplugs in your ears and good luck.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, we love to talk about music. We're all musicians here, and music is healing, and it's proven through science that, even going to 2 concerts a month can actually prolong your life.
Nice.
Some say 9 years, and we're like, what? 9 years?
Come on.
But, imagine someone who.
And how do they get that proof, right? But
Like, seriously, I think they're just pulling that out of a hat. Or
So imagine someone who's sheltered all their life and never heard the radio with music on or never had music. I mean, what is their lifespan? Because you know how it is. Like 47% of people who eat carrots are going to die.
Well,
you know what I mean?
It's 100% of the people that eat organic are still going to get up, end up dying.
Yeah.
Nobody gets out of life alive, So
has music or singing or any sort of creativity played a role in keeping you healthy?
Because I started singing, I mean, I was a little kid when I started. I was probably 15, 16 when I started singing in like choirs and stuff in high school. And so my choir teacher was absolutely like you breathe correctly or I will end you, she did not put up with this whole this breathing thing here where she's like, if I see your shoulders move, you're doing it wrong. So it was
Drill sergeant.
You fit right. Seriously. She was amazing. I loved her. She was awesome. Mrs. Lewick. She's amazing. She retired a few years ago, but she was great. But you fill up your lungs like you fill up a glass of water from the bottom up. You do not. And so I have, so my whole life, I have always breathed, no matter what, whether I'm singing or not. It's just a way of breathing now. And you'll never see my shoulders move because I always breathe from my diaphragm. So, that maybe that's helped. I don't know. Cause when you fill up your lungs more and you get more oxygen into your system and whether you're talking, singing, whatever, I'm sure that can't hurt. So
it's similar for us. We grew up with music and singing and same exact story as you. And we teach people how to use meditation and breathing I can't even talk. Breathing techniques.
Mhm.
And what's funny is a lot of people get real dizzy. And we recommend that when they first start doing it, they sit down, because
Yeah,
through life, they're so used to not having enough oxygen that when
right.
they finally do, they get lightheaded. I find that
Yep.
very interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I live in Colorado Springs, Colorado. We live at about 7,000 feet above sea level. So talking about, breathing,
Yes.
it's, our air is thin here, man. So when we met in Orlando, it was like I got off the plane and almost choked on the air for a second there. It
I
was so
bet.
humid, but
Yeah.
so even here, it's even more important, when it's higher elevation, or it's, you really got to know what you're doing and breathe correctly. And because lightheaded could be just, you're not used to the altitude too.
Mhm.
So yeah, you just got to be smart. It can be kind of
Okay.
crazy.
Now I think it's time for the hard question.
Dun dun. Woo!
All
Bring it
right.
on.
Are you ready? Don't be
I'm ready.
afraid.
Okay, Jeff. You're winning an Emmy for your show,
Oh,
and you're going to the Emmy Awards, and when they show you, they're playing a backing track. What's the song they're playing? And what meal are you going to choose? Fish, meat, or chicken?
okay, sure. What song are they playing?
Your anthem song. Your
Oh
walk-on
man. Oh, that's terrible. Come
You
on.
own the
I've
room.
so much music running through my head right now.
First thing that
First
comes
thing
to
that
mind.
pops into my head is a song by Avalon called "Take You at Your Word." That's the song that probably would run through my head first.
I love
Oh.
Avalon, and I love
Yes.
that song.
I got to perform that song with a group one time, and it was amazing. I love that song so much. And so that is probably it. And what was the choices for the meal again?
Fish, chicken, or meat?
Well, fish and chicken are technically meat, but you mean like beef?
Steak, yeah,
Steak,
beef.
like
Steak?
filet or
Okay.
chicken or-
She's a vegetarian.
No, I'm definitely not a vegetarian. No, man, is crab on the menu? Crab legs.
Okay, that'd be
Crab
like
legs, please.
Ooh.
Lots and lots of butter.
Garlic butter. Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got an easier question for you now.
Okay.
It's got to be easier for you because I know you can answer this now.
What do
You've
you
had
got?
surgeries through time. Now,
Yeah.
somebody else who's going through this, just starting up and they have to go through a surgery. And I'm sure you have emotional tips, like builders that you do before you go into that surgery that keeps you sane. What do you do to keep yourself sane before those type of surgeries?
Well, I mean, in this day and age, this might be a very controversial thing to say, but first and foremost, pray.
Pray.
Yes.
That's the first
Amen, brother.
thing. Yeah, you have got to pray. You've got to. In fact, our first, I've had 6 surgeries in the last 12 years. 4 of them are brain surgeries. And the first surgery was a very, very emergency abdominal surgery. It was very emergency. And so we never prayed before I went into that surgery. And I had some of the most terrifying dreams during that surgery, man. I'm telling you, because you can dream when you're under, And I woke up and was just gasping for air, from those dreams. And we said, well, what didn't we do? And we didn't pray. And so every other surgery going forward, it was like, hold on, doc. I don't care if it's an emergency or not. We're praying for a minute here, and and so everything else has gone great. But anybody that's going into something as serious as surgery, I don't care what it is. If it's wisdom teeth, you're getting your spleen removed, or you're going for brain surgery, there's still a chance you don't wake up. I mean, anesthesia is still anesthesia, and so you make sure you're on the same page here. Pray.
I love how down to earth and practical your advice is. You don't go into some hard to understand medical technology, any of that. And I want to get back to the speaking for a moment, because I believe speaking is a muscle that you have to exercise. what you said was you can't steer a parked car. I love
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
because that's what we've done. We just jumped full, even though I still feel like I'm out of practice. And we study back. We watch our shows, and I am sometimes horrified the times I say or and we're just learning. We're getting better. So when you first started your show, had you been speaking? Like, what was the transformation into being a successful TV show host?
I mean, I've always been kind of that guy that subscribes. I have a 10-10 rule. If I've been in the vicinity of you for more than 10 seconds, or I'm within 10 feet of you, we're going to talk. I'm going to meet you, and I'm gonna get your story. And so that's how I've always been. And so so speaking is really just, well, and as a host, as a TV host, you're speaking every day. You're speaking to your audience, and so it's the same thing. And when even if you're speaking on stage, you're speaking to one person. You're speaking to one, and there might be 10,000 people in the place, but you're speaking to one person. And so I don't know. I guess I've just with the TV show, it's cool because you get to speak and get your message out every single show. Whether it's depending on who the guest is, that gives a little bit of a variety to the story, but you get to tell your story all the time.
You're watching the Rockstar Diaries TV show.
Come to Jersey Mike's on Parker and Independence here in Plano. Thank you so much.
Hi guys, my name is Mary. Come and visit us at Wing Daddy's in Plano, Texas. Hope to see you here soon.
Hi, my name is Gracie from Wing Daddy's, Hyper, Texas.
Hey, it's Shannon from Neolago in Kirkland, Washington. When you're in town, stop on by and give us a shout. See you soon. Thanks for shopping. Local.
We're here at Bubba's Bar and Grill, and yes, my old blues band used to play here. There's the stage. We're here in Washington State, and man, things have come full circle because now I'm on a TV show. I don't know where we came up with the name, Earl and Bubba, Earl T and Bubba G. I don't know, but it's good to be back at Bubba's Bar and Grill. This is so beautiful. Oh my goodness.
It's amazing.
How do you like the river?
Well, you come out here, and what happens to me is that I just feel a calling. That there's this calling that wants me to just be quiet, just experience. And when you do that, it just feels so good. The river just kind of takes all your doubts and fears and busyness away. Just, to me, it's kind of like breathing because there's an influx of energy and an outflux of energy, just like, but it's happening all at once. So there's this constant breath of the river going by.
Hey, we're back to Rockstar Diaries, Healing Out Loud with Jeff Pearson, the amazing guy who's got stories to tell. So, Jeff, what is going on with this new TV show?
The new TV show, so for 2 years we've had Invisible Condition on the air twice a week. It's been awesome. It's been amazing. I love this show. I love the community we built. I love the guests. It's been fantastic. I took on a co-host about a year ago. Her name is Michelle, and I met her at a speaking gig in December of 2023. We were both speaking at the same conference, and we told each other's stories, and it's like, oh my gosh, of course we have to work together. And so we've been co-hosting the show together, but she also has an amazing company that helps people get fully healthy. And I don't want to get into too many details there because I don't want to take up too much time. If you ever want to learn about her, go to Invisible Condition and watch season 2, episode 52, 5-2, and you'll get her whole story, and it's amazing. And so through working with her, I've become more fully healthy than I've ever been in my life. And I don't even the MRIs look different that we've had. Like I have one for a couple years ago, and then I have one from just recently, and they look completely opposite. I mean, this impact of what she's done with me is incredible. And so we decided to transition away from Invisible Condition, and we are starting a new show called 6 Degrees of Impact. And that's going to be once a week, every Friday at noon Eastern. And that show I'm really excited about, because we're just blowing the doors off what we, talked about on Invisible Condition, and we're just expanding it.
Wow.
And so 6 Degrees of Impact will be a once a week show that will have, influencers, entrepreneurs, celebrities, everyday hero type folks on there to talk about. Everybody's heard of 6 degrees of separation, right? The 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon, or whatever. Actually, you know what? In the U.S., it's more like 3, because we're so connected here now. But 6 degrees of separation, and so I wanted to do something different than that. 6 degrees of impact, because those 6 degrees start somewhere, and everybody has that 6 degrees of impact story where you started here, and then you seemingly like randomly met this person, which led you to this person, which led you to that company, and it's just that story of progression of that one seemingly insignificant introduction that changed everything and led you to where you are now. And so I want to tell those stories. I've got plenty of my own like that. And even hosting this TV show, Invisible Condition has been, I could trace back 6 degrees back to way back, 10, 12 years ago. And it's just crazy. So I want to tell those stories. That's what the show is going to be about. And I want to get anybody and everybody on there. I'd love to get some celebrities on there. I'm looking for Billy Joel and Danny Bonaducci, if anybody knows them. Because they were diagnosed with my condition. So, yeah. So I'd be crazy not to mention that today. But so that's the new show. It's gonna be amazing. I can't wait.
I love that. In fact, our guest last week, Misty Lee, was that person for me that started a chain reaction of goodness and abundance. That's why we're here today. Actually, it started there. But I do want to add is you have to show up for those opportunities. You have to just show up and be present.
Right.
And that particular day that I met her for the first time, I truly wanted to stay on the couch in my jammies watching Netflix. And I chose to get up and go no matter what. And we're here now.
I mean that's it. I'll do it. I'll do it in 2 minutes or less. The 6 degrees that got me to the TV show. We went to a certain church when we went to Colorado Springs. We went to Rocky Mountain Calvary, and I started working security at Rocky Mountain Calvary. That's the first one, and then a security company in town got the contract for the Binder League ballpark in town, and the owner of that company happened to go to the same church, reached out to the security team and said, "We need guards for the ballpark." There's degree number 2. So I started getting paid working for security at the ballpark. That progressed into me being a private investigator, process server, security, all kinds of other places. One of them was a school. And I worked at this school for several years where I met a guy named Craig. And Craig introduced me to an organization, a networking organization, where I met Julianne. And the rest is history. And so if we hadn't been going to that church, if I hadn't stepped out and done security at the church, who knows what I'd be doing. So it's so seemingly random, insignificant, right? Oh, let's work security at church. Sure. But look where it led. So
the Julianne he's talking about, people, is the co-CEO of E360 Network.
Yeah.
And
Amazing woman.
amazing. We met
Yep.
her at Hystopia, and boy, does she have some great insight.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about your private private investigator
Sure.
position.
Why not?
Because I always wondered how people get into that. A lot of ex-cops and detectives become private investigators.
Yeah.
The hard question, do you skate around the rules? I'm not insinuating anything illegal. Do you skate around rules as a private investigator that normally you wouldn't be able to in law enforcement?
I think, well, okay, so I'll say this. So my car that I used, I had a couple different cars during the time, and I had such dark tint on my windows, like I even asked Catherine, my wife, I said, go in front of me in the car and look in the rearview mirror and see if you can see anybody in the car. And it was like 10 feet behind her. She's like, I can't see any, it's just black in the car. I can't see anything. I was so paranoid. But that's one of the things is you're not allowed to have that dark of a tint on your windows. But I got away with it because I would just, if I got pulled over for something and they said, wait, that tint's a little too dark, I would just hand them my card as a private investigator, and they're like, oh, okay, all right, that's cool. And because I call the cops every time I'd go to a site to do surveillance or something on somebody, I would always call the police department in that area and say, look, this is where I am, this is my car, this is my license plate. If anybody calls and says, hey, who's that weird, car on my street? You can tell them, don't worry about it. They're just working, just leave them alone.
Oh.
And so you just got to do it right, and so, yeah, you just go about it right. Be nice, it's like Patrick Swayze said in Roadhouse, be nice until it's time to not be nice. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I did. I was nice until it was time to not be nice. So yeah, it was really fun. It's not what you think though. It's not like I'm not walking around in, short shorts and a Hawaiian shirt driving a Ferrari. Okay. I'm not, it's the Magnum PI paints a very unrealistic picture of what a private. Okay. No, it's mostly, it's an art form of staying awake is what it is really. So really, cause you might sit there for 8 hours in front of somebody's business or house and get 10 minutes of footage, and the rest of the time you're just sweating it out and trying to stay awake. So, but anyway,
we won't even mention how you went to the bathroom during that.
Let's not talk about it. Yeah, you got creative. I'll just say that. Yeah. It was pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. 10 years doing that. So
there's so many things that we could talk about. The bathroom thing. I used to manage the Xbox team in Redmond and here in Las Colinas. That's how I knew that Texas was such a great place to live. And when we came up, when they would do brand new video games, some of my team members would test those games and they would do it for 48 to 72 hours and never get up. They had a refrigerator because they were hired to try to break the system and to catch any little glitches or, that kind of thing. And I'm like, I could never do that. I love these conversations. All right. What else do we talk about? Can you talk about your journal?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
So this is something when we started the nonprofit, it actually came from being in one of those doctor's offices after I had a brain surgery. So I had 2 brain surgeries in 2014, back to back within 24 hours of each other, one in 2018 and one in 21. So in 18, that was my least eventful one. It was actually a planned surgery, my only planned brain surgery. Everything else has been emergency. So it was pretty calm. And we were sitting in the room waiting for the neurosurgeon to come in to talk to us about how the scans look and all that stuff. And I could hear this conversation happening in the next room over here. And you couldn't hear the words, but you could hear the tone. And the tone was distraught. And and this was a neurosurgeon's office. So I knew there was probably plenty of people in there with, similar things to what I was having surgery for. And so I just thought, man, I wonder if that's a family and they're just finding out that their baby's going to have brain surgery for the first time or the 5th time or the 10th time, and all I wanted to do was run next door to that room and give them a hug and tell them it was going to be okay and answer their questions. But HIPAA doesn't like that. You can't just do that in a doctor's office. They don't like it when you do that. And so I stayed put. And on the way home, Catherine and I started talking, and we came up with Hydro with Hope, because hope has always been a big thing for me. Of course, as a Christian, you've got hope in Jesus. That's the biggest thing. Mm-hmm. The other thing is, though, there's always hope. I mean, if you don't have hope, you're dead in the water already. Right. I mean, you've got to have hope. Right. And so Hydro with Hope. And so one of the first things we did was say we want to be online so we can talk to anybody on the planet. And so we established a Facebook page and Facebook group and all the things. And then the next thing we did was what resource is missing out there? What have I wished that I had over the last 4 brain surgeries or 3 brain surgeries at the time? And so we decided to create a journal. And so we created a journal that's about 150 pages, and it's a fill-in-the-blank journal called My Hydro Warrior Story. And it looks like this, and it's got 150 pages in there, and they're all kind of fill-in-the-blank kind of pages like this, and it's got little prompts, and you saw little frames, put little pictures in there of different things, and we wanted it to be interactive, and we wanted it to be simple, and we wanted it to be kind of fun, because brain surgery is a big deal, and it can be really serious, and so I wanted to kind of loosen it up, lighten it up a little bit, so I've got stuff in there like, show me your new gnarly, surgery scar from this one, or let me see your crazy hair from surgery, because I don't know what they put in your hair for surgery, man. When
you showed us that picture.
The shunt's back here, and so they got to get the hair out of the way, and they shave a little landing strip back there. And they'd never shaved my head, but man, they put this cement in your hair, and it's like I looked like a flock of seagulls after one of my surgeries, man. It was just going everywhere. And so, if you ever watch the show, that photo is actually in the opening of the show. I've got one of them like, hey, and I've got the little. It's going everywhere. So that's the kind of thing I wanted to lighten it up. Brain surgery is a serious thing. So I wanted to make it kind of cool, but at the same time, I wanted to put blank pages in there. There's a section in there to keep track of your medical records, your doctors, your hospitals, your, all the things. And so that when you go to your next appointment, your next follow-up, your next surgery, you've got it written down, and you don't have to remember as much, because memory suffers a lot with brain surgery and with traumatic brain injuries. And so I wanted to have a place that wasn't electronic. It's not an app. This will never crash. So yeah, bring it with you, and you've got all the answers right there for the doctor. So.
Hey there. Every time someone comes into your business or website and uses their card to pay, a percentage of that gets folded back into the system. But it can go to Hydro with Hope instead. If you'd like your business to support us rather than feed back into the system, scan the QR code, and we'll show you how to do that while saving your business money.
Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, my team and I are happy to help. We work across all price points and specialize in helping clients relocate from anywhere in the country. Give me a call, 214-708-2450.
Cedar Ridge Acres, Stope. Why? 'Cause you smell good.
Such golden nuggets. Lighten up, Chuck. Truly, that's the only reason why we're able to be here, is because, did you like what he said on Tamara's I Talk Fabulous show, that You want to repeat what you said about
Yeah,
people?
tell me what you
My
said.
motto. It's my motto. I don't know if she adopted it yet, but my motto is: don't be afraid to be stupid, look stupid, or act stupid.
Hey, I mean, it's true. It's true. Yeah.
But you're so authentic. And then the journaling part. I had a brain injury in 2010,
Yeah.
and I had been journaling. So I was able to reference back because I had memory loss.
Yeah.
And I attribute journaling to so much goodness in life. There's so many paths that it can lead to. Is getting this onto paper. And I love that. I love that you created that. So thank you.
I mean, I started journaling when I left for Up With People. I've got 7 journals that I filled during that year, and I would just get a new one on the road as I ran out of space in the last one. And so I still have those in a box that I read back on regularly. I mean, all the time I read back and go, oh my gosh, I remember that, And so for fun stuff like that, it's a blast. And I've got all kinds of stuff in there, but especially for this, because I didn't say this before, but the shunt is back here. For most people, it's back here behind the right ear, or maybe it's back here behind the left ear, but behind the right ear, for the geography of the brain, is where the short-term memory lives. And so when you go in there hacking around all the time, it's like a traumatic brain injury every single time. And it just makes it really interesting for memory. And so, I've kind of adopted and I'll just tell people, if I forget something, I'll say, it's okay. Memory's only the second thing to go, So, and most people will say, oh, really, what's the first? And I'll say, I don't know. I forgot that years ago. I have no idea. So, but you got to have fun with it, it's otherwise you drive yourself crazy. So
you can tell people you're a sometimer. Sometimes you remember, sometimes you don't.
Right. Exactly. Right. Exactly. I love it. Yeah.
I'm surprised they don't have anything like nanotechnology nowadays that they can go in and just like, instead of doing surgery, just have some kind of like nanobites come in there and just clean it all out for you.
It's funny you say that because actually, so I really never, I had three of those brain surgeries were in my childhood, right? One at 2 weeks old, one at 6 months old, one at 18 years old. And what you said sparked, I don't know why, but it sparked in my brain. I was like, so in 2014, I had to have 2 back-to-back brain surgeries within 24 hours of each other. I was in the hospital for about 3 weeks because of a bacterial infection they found in the fluid. And I ended up having 2 brain surgeries, and that left me with nonstop migraines for about a year. And I kept going back to the doctor saying, you were the last one in there, help me, come on, you gotta have something. And they said, I'm sorry, I guess you're just gonna have to live with headaches. And I said, okay, thank you very much. And that was the end of my search in the medical world for help. And we went outside the medical world for help. And talking about launch and adjust, man, we tried everything. Our health savings account took a hit that year. We were trying all kinds of stuff. And we ended up finding 2 things that worked really good. And this is part of Hydro with Hope too. I love to share this stuff with people. And I wouldn't be here without these things that we found outside the hospital. So I mean, you've got to search, you've got to advocate, you've got to be open to what other people can teach you, and we ended up finding a chiropractic neurologist that helped, and then we found something called neurofeedback that within like a month got rid of the migraines completely. And you were talking about memory. Bonus with this neurofeedback is I had always had to have directions for driving anywhere. Didn't matter where. If I'd been to your house 10,000 times, we've known each other for 20 years, I still need directions. About a month into that neurofeedback, I drove somewhere that I had been and I didn't need the GPS anymore. And it was like a switch went off in my brain, and it was like a little side benefit I didn't plan on. So it's, you never know, like you pursue this stuff and you never know what's going to happen. So it's kind of cool. So So yeah, don't be afraid to explore. Don't be afraid to advocate, and just see what happens. It's cool. So
I wish we had more time with you. We're at the top
I
of the hour.
know.
There's so much we could talk about. You just gave so many golden nuggets, and we're going to put those links to your items, as well as the neurofeedback. You told us about that in Hostopian. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That blew me away, because you're talking to somebody that also has suffered from migraines. So
yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, I can't wait for you to try it. Yeah. And there's probably an office in your area that'll do it. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So
is there any parting words you'd like to leave us with?
Oh, I'm gonna draw something from the journal here, and it's, you kind of alluded to it in my intro. Thank you. It was great, amazing intro. And it's in the About Jeff section in the journal, and it says, having lived with hydrocephalus for over 45 years, I can say 3 things with 100% certainty. Number 1, God is faithful all the time. Number 2, God's in control, and that's a good thing. And number 3, life does not have to be perfect to be amazing. So I just want to say that one more time. So
thank you so much. We love you so much, and we can't wait to meet your wife as well. So
if we meet again for Hostopia, where they were talking about for February, she's coming. So yeah, we'll come together. So
we wouldn't miss that for anything.
Right?
Absolutely.
That'd be awesome.
See you there.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Wow, this has been such a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you guys. This has been awesome. I appreciate it.